Recording in progress.
Welcome, everyone. What a turnout! It's really nice to see, and a lot of familiar faces here with that we know. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 4:01 p.m. And our first business is the declaration of office. Ward 3 Councillor Heather Doherty, please. Could you come forward and...
I, Heather Doherty, have been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor, Ward 3 in the municipality of West Elgin, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously, believing in it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Heather. Would you please come forward and take your chair? Okay, moving on. We go to the adoption of the agenda.
That West Elgin Council hereby adopts the regular council agenda for November 14th, 2024 as presented.
Move it, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconder. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. Disclose of any pecuniary interest. Seeing none. We go to number 5, which is delegations.
Delegations to be heard in compliance with Bylaw 2024-05, being a bylaw to establish rules and proceedings for the meetings of council committees, and boards for the corporation of the municipality of West Elgin. Section 6.8, delegations should be limited in speaking to not more than 10 minutes in total per person, per group, or per organization. Section 12.1, members of the public who constitute the audience in the council chamber shall respect the decorum of council, maintain order and quiet, and may not address council without permission, interrupt any speaker or action of the members or any person addressing council, speak out, behave in a disorderly manner, or make any noise or sound that provides disruptive to the conduct of the meeting. Section 12.2, play cards, signs, posters, etc., and any advertising device shall not be permitted in the council chambers or any other location in which council may conduct their business. Section 12.3 should turn all electronic communication devices to vibrate, silent, or mute during the entire meeting, or exit the meeting if they wish to make or receive a telephone call. Section 12.4, the mayor, chair, may request that a member or members of the public vacate the council chambers or any other location in which council may conduct their business if their behavior is deemed to be disruptive to the business at hand. Item number 5.1 is our first delegation, Adam Lumley. Yep. Thanks, Adam.
Hello.
Thank you.
First of all, how's that? Everyone can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, thank you all for obviously taking the time to hear me today. As well, I want to recognize the support from the people of Port Glasgow and show my gratitude back to all of you for allowing me to stand up on this podium and speak on your behalf. For those who don't know me, my name's Adam Lumley. I've been a park resident I just completed my 8th season out here. Obviously, I love the park, I love the people, and I've got strong feelings about the decision that came from council 2 weeks ago with the declaration of the park as surplus. I've been running with the mantra in recent times, we're citizens, we're not surplus. And I think the way the announcement came about, it kind of, took the rug out from underneath us, and it didn't really allow us to feel validated as residents of West Elgin, more so just people that occupied a recreational property. And, for a lot of us, this is our homes, this is our, half-year homes and stuff like that. And so all feelings need to be considered for the people within this room and the people far and wide that couldn't make it here as well to express those feelings. As far as I'm concerned, I consider us West Elgin residents. Some of us have the luxury, like myself, we do have a full-time residence in other cities and elsewhere. Other residents here do not. We have some residents who are down in, let's say, Texas, some residents down in Florida. Some residents have to find temporary winter accommodation every year because Port Glasgow Trailer Park is actually their home. I took the opportunity to speak with most everyone in this room on council this week, just to kind of introduce myself and let you guys know where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a place where I've got my gloves on. I'm not looking for a battle. I'm looking for cooperation and a mutually beneficial result at the end of the day, and ultimately productive conversations. Like, a lot of people are looking to me for answers. I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of ideas, and I've got a lot of people, helping me out with those ideas as well. With respects to the impending sale, the petition was put on the agenda for you guys to see. As of this meeting, I believe we're at like 760 signatures on there. From that, those are made up of obviously park residents, former park residents, friend, family, extended family, West Elgin residents, Elgin County in general, and some, beyond that as well. But I think it does show that there is a strong interest within the public to allow us to, at least make the effort to try and save what we call our homes. For some people, it is a spot that they just poke in on the weekend, but for the majority, it's actually, what we consider a home. And like I said, for me, the luxury of having a second home. After talking to many of you, I understand some of the perspective on where you're coming from with declaring the park surplus, such as the burden on the administrative staff for running the park, as well as operations. Like, I get it. There's also public sentiment out there that, the park's being subsidized by the public. And I just want to refute that claim while I have the chance to be in front of council. Everything that's paid for in that park is coming from our reserves, from our park fees. All those monuments that have been restored in the park, those new gates that were put up there for the centennial party, the cleaning of the dance hall for the big celebration that was out there. All of that stuff is coming from the pockets of the same people in this room, as well as, let's call them our ancestors in the park, from our reserves and from our funds, right? And I don't think the public is overly aware that's a scenario, that we've really been the stewards of the park, obviously with municipal support and all of that. But, I want to, I guess, show that I want to take the initiative as well during this whole process to educate the public on, what we really are to the community, how much of an impact we do have on the economy. At minimum, we have 300 residents that are in and out of there, all of our extended family, transients coming out. I would ballpark at minimum 1,000, 1,500 people coming through the park on an annual basis, spending money on their local businesses, restaurants, alcohol, grocery, and all that sort of stuff. And from that too, people have invested tens of thousands of dollars into their properties in this trailer park. The majority of the people that I've spoken to, they bought all their lumber from the local Rona store. They bought anything they need from the hardware store here in West Lauren. They need repairs done to their trailer. They're reaching out to In the Hunt up the road in Rodney there. And so we are strong contributors to the local economy as well. And I think, selling that land off to, for example, a developer, that ruins all of that. Obviously homes maybe one day would be put there if that was the case. But if I look at the example of the current Fari project that's supposed to take Hope Harbor, it's called, there's I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe the number's around 160 homes that could be built in there. And, maybe one day that development actually happens and the infrastructure is built underneath there and those people actually contribute to the economy. But in the meantime, we are here. We are coming back year over year, and we are generating money for the economy, right? And, we don't plan on, well, at least the people I've talked to, leaving anytime soon, right? That trailer park was first initiated back in 1962, and it ran on its own without municipal support up until 1999 when the operations were handed over to the park. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the relationship between the park and the trailer park community. What we got out of that was basically no more direct line to council with our advisory committee, as well as the news at the end of the season when everybody's already gone from the park and can't raise their concerns that it's been declared a surplus. So, and I'm not saying this to shame anybody on council for the timing of the decision or the reasons why you made the decision. I'm saying that just to basically give perspective on how that impacts people. If that land is pulled out from underneath those people, and if that was to happen today, come May of next year, you guys have literally created a homeless situation for people in our park who are returning and have nowhere else to go and may or may not be able to secure housing in the 6 months leading to there. My hope would be that they could. However, it's a completely avoidable problem. A few things that I've also considered, and I'd like at some point for council to address is what was the catalyst for this decision? Why declare this park surplus? Why do that before talking to the people in the park? Or why make those decisions without us having actual representation from a ward councillor? I think those are important, conversations to have. And, everyone I've talked to for the most part is dedicated to transparency. And I hope that those answers come to light so that people can get a better understanding. And again, my current understanding and my proposed solution comes back to the burden on the municipality with respect to the operations, the books and administration and stuff like that. I've also had it come up multiple times about the municipality doesn't want to be in the trailer park business. We do. But the municipality also doesn't want to be in competition with the other 5 parks in the area. 2 of those parks are co-ops, so we'll scratch them off the list. The other parks are completely sold out on an annual basis. And if in fact we were in competition with them, I think they would have a struggle actually filling up their business year over year, which they do not. Another thing with the other parks, they have, and I know that it's been a point that's been raised many times, our fees are lower than the other parks and it's not fair to the other parks. Other parks, they have things like dog parks, they've got swimming pools, they've got either they have it or they have plans for pickleball courts. We have very, very limited amenities. We've got a baseball diamond. We've got a dance hall that's open to the public, which is great. We've got a bingo hall that's open to the public, and we've got a pavilion. And so as far as attractions to bring people to those parks from a competitive standpoint, we're not winning in that equation, and we're not taking business away from them. If people want the extra amenities of a swimming pool and stuff like that, they can go there if they choose to, and they pay a premium for those additional amenities, right? Our park has always been open to the public, and at the end of the day, from anyone I've talked to, we enjoy that relationship. We like having our celebrations, our multiple dances per year and things like that for people to come from the exterior community and actually enjoy with us. How am I for time? Okay. I got 1 minute. Okay. Okay. So I have a lot to say, and I really hope that I get to have many, many more conversations with you guys. I don't have time to cover like even the smallest chunk of what else I wanted to say today. However, if I can buy maybe an extra minute, if possible, I'll get straight to the point, and I summarized it at the bottom just in case, because I do tend to go off on tangents, but very relevant tangents. What is the ask from me and the people from the municipality? As you'll see, both in the proposal that is on the agenda, as well as the key points in the petition that is also in the agenda there too. The first ask is a moratorium on the sale, potential sale, if and when it happens, of the trailer park. We propose a temporary moratorium on the sale to provide our community with adequate time to organize and develop a viable plan for the park's future. We request when and if the time comes to sell, council considers a single source sale to the residents of Port Glasgow Trailer Park. We request an opportunity to form a resident-owned cooperative. We believe that a resident-owned cooperative model offers a sustainable and equitable solution. This would allow us to collectively purchase the park and manage its operations. Our shortest term goal, We wish to work with council and administration to have the Port Glasgow Trailer Park Co-op assume operations of this park. Under that proposal, I believe, and this is open for discussion, I believe that a land lease agreement would make the most sense in the short term, where the co-op takes over the business of the park and leases the land from the municipality. And then beyond that, support for the resident-led operations in the short term. We're committed to taking an active role in the park's management. We request support and guidance in transitioning to a resident-led model, including access to necessary resources and expertise, which would include, at its simplest, the knowledge transfer of what we need to know that we don't know than you guys do about the intricacies of running the park. So I think I'm over time. I appreciate the extra couple seconds that I was granted there, and yeah, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Is there any questions from council to Mr. Lumley? If not, we'll go to our next delegation. Our next delegation, please.
Our second delegation is Carmen Lassen.
All right, to follow. Did I mess it up? I messed it
No.
up. It's good. Okay. Oh, deep breath. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Council. Thanks for allowing me to speak. My name is Carmen Lassen. My wife and I reside at 8626 Furnival Road. For anyone that doesn't know where that is, that's the end of the line. That's you're in Port Glasgow on that end of Furnival Road. It's raining in West Elgin. It's been raining for a long time. It started raining with the sad and untimely passing of Mayor Duncan McPhail. And now I truly believe that council has picked up the pieces and tried to move us forward. But it's still raining in West Elgin. I think we need to come together as one. I think with council declaring Port Glasgow Trailer Park as surplus, which gives council the power to sell that property. So, and forgive me for if I misuse terminology. English wasn't my best in school, lunch and recess was. I started thinking surplus. What's surplus? So I went to the dictionary and I looked up surplus. An amount of something left over when requirements have been met. Requirements have been met when you have enough. So is council suggesting that they've had enough of visitors to West Elgin? Enough of tourists coming to West Elgin? Enough of campers in West Elgin? Have we had enough of anglers fishing in our marina? Have we had enough of young people being able to sleep in tents and stuff underneath the stars and maybe a day at the beach that West Elgin provides with that space? All these people spend money in our community. Santa Rosa's gets a spike during these times of the year for fishing equipment, things like that nature. We have our shops, our ice cream shop especially, restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations. As Adam has mentioned, Rona, the hardware, everything gets a boost. I was in the liquor store, don't ask me why. But I was speaking to one of the employees, and they had mentioned how they were putting in a request to be able to be open on Wednesdays, especially in the warm weather, because they had Tuesday and Thursday such a flood of people saying, you know, why aren't you open? Why aren't you open? We're here. We want to spend money. We want to put it into the West Elgin economy. So when we call the Port Glasgow Trailer Park a surplus, I don't know what the heck we're talking about. I really don't. And I mean that in the polite way. I'm not sure what we're talking about. And I know you're probably thinking, Carm, you live in Port Glasgow. You neighbor the park. You have a biased opinion. If you mean by biased, and again, my terminology, if you mean by bias that as I grew up in West Elgin and lived out at the lake, I had the opportunity to meet people from all over the world. And I mean that, all over the world. I've had the opportunity to be one of the children and watch children enjoy camping and campfires out at the lake. This overwhelming feeling of being a member of the West Elgin community and being able to watch people come and tell stories and take away from our community. What a wonderful place you have here. What a gem of a place. You're so lucky to have this. So if that makes me biased for that, then yes, I'm 100% biased, and I want all the future generations to be just as biased as I have been fortunate to be with what we have here. Now, I know that we have things that we have to look at. I know your responsibilities as a council. This isn't just we just do whatever the heart string pulls. I realize that. But it's still raining in West Elgin. And selling the park isn't going to stop the rain. Because there'll be another rain come. And are we going to find that we have a surplus of hikers and bird watchers? So maybe let's put Joe's Bush up for sale because we have a surplus of that. Or the next rain, are we going to say we've had enough fairs and agricultural programs, things going on, so let's sell the fairgrounds because we need to get over this rain? I think it's more time that we focus in on being a community, being what makes people strong, that gets them through storms. And we faced some storms in the last little while. I applaud council for, you were elected deputy mayor and now you're the mayor. You had to step up and you've stepped up. You stepped up. We've all stepped up. We've had to appoint. We had to. We're trying to save a little bit of money. I understand that. I understand why we do what we do. And I'm not saying it's time for an election. I'm just saying that I think that we need a little bit of transparency because the sale came, it just was all of a sudden. We didn't, as West Elgin, as myself, as a West Elgin, we felt that I feel that we were almost left out. It was like, we don't mind telling us little things, but this is a major, major decision that we're making to sell something like the park. And I don't think that West Elgin, I think West Elgin does not want to sell our past or our future. So what I'm asking council is to take a look at the path we're on. Take some time to think about what we're doing. Do you want the support in the next election of West Elgin citizens? Do you want them to be behind you, and do you want our input on what we do as a family, as a community? Because this is a landmark piece of property that we're talking about, a gem. We have the park where fishers and anglers and people come and they stay for a day, a week, a month, the whole season. And we have the marina. And my wife, funnily put it, I had a laugh. She said, what we have out here with the park where the kids can play, the trailer park where we can stay, and transients and everyone can stay, and the marina, it's like peanut butter and jelly. They go so well together. To start to dismantle what we have now, because it's raining in our municipality, because we're going through a rough thing, but we can all just pull together. We can figure something out without selling, because this belongs to all of us, including you, this gem we have. The decision that you make today will impact every generation to come. Thank you, council, for your time. I appreciate it. And I hope you do take a little bit of time to think about what we're proposing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council? Stage? Seeing none, could we have the next one, please?
The third and final delegation is Donna Claypack.
Good afternoon, elected officials and staff, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak at this meeting. I am currently the chair of the Port Glasgow Trailer Park Advisory Committee and have just finished my 4th season in the park. Imagine how surprised I and the park residents were to find out on October 25th that our beloved park was declared as surplus. The other 2 delegates that spoke, they are a hard act to follow. So I want to start off with a short history of the park. The picnics and family gatherings have been held for many years in the park, some as early as 1898. The picnic held in 1900 at Port Glasgow was the start of the Old Boys reunion movement. In 1920, the Old Boys Association was formed and 6 acres of land was bought. August 21st, 1921 was the date of the first picnic under the Old Boys name. The dance hall, booth, cookhouse, and small living quarters for the park superintendent were later erected. The park was known as the Soldiers and Pioneers Park. The cairn was dedicated to the pioneers and men who fought in the World War I at the annual picnic in 1930. The present dance hall was built in 1921 and in 1937 was enlarged due to high attendance at the regular Wednesday night dance. Many dances have been held in the dance hall. Square dancers from Southern Ontario gathered annually to dance. They last hosted a regular dance September the 18th, 2018, celebrating their 50th anniversary. The trailer park, as Adam mentioned, was built in 1962 by the Old Boys. In 1967, the campground was expanded and additional services were added. As the money became available, further improvements were made. In February 1986, improvements to the hydro were made, going from 15 amp to 30 amp. In April 1986, Alderborough Old Boys transferred the land to the Township of Alderborough for a cost of $500. In July 1986, additional property was bought from Wilbur Baxley at a cost of $20,000. There are currently 153 lots being used for seasonal trailers, and several lots are available for transient campers. For many years, the bookings of lots for transient campers, cleaning washrooms, running the food booth, as well as booking the pavilion and dance hall were all handled internally by those running the food booth. At the time, they had an agreement with the municipality. Also, during that time, the park supervisor was hired full-time for the season, and a summer student was hired to help with maintaining the park. Since the 2018 season, the park supervisor was full-time, while a part-time employee was hired to clean washrooms, book transient lots, and assist with parking the trailers. There have been many improvements made to the park over the years: asphalt streets, street lights, water, hydro, and sewers, as well as stairs to the beach. The park paid the $25,000 for the new gates and repairs to the cairn in preparation of the 100th anniversary. The park also paid for the new ceiling in the pavilion as well as upgrades to the bingo hall. All the improvements were at no cost to the municipality. The park runs at no cost to the municipality. Any wages for the municipal employees who come to the park for maintenance are charged to the park. As the park is not for-profit park, any funds left over after paying all the expenses are transferred to the reserve fund. It was my understanding the reserve fund was for making improvements to the park, but apparently I'm wrong. I found it very interesting when I looked back over past budgets. In 2018, the replacement of water lines were budgeted for $10,000 each year until 2023. Water lines were to be replaced one street at a time. I've been told by an older park resident that a replacement water line did go down Walker Street. However, when you look at the capital budget spent for 2018, nothing is recorded in the budget. Interesting though, the water line replacements were only budgeted in 2018 and were removed from all other budget years. I would like to mention that the upgrades to the sewer system. At the time the sewers were upgraded, each trailer paid $300 in additional funds for 10 years. I have an interesting question about the 2023 actual budget. Why was nothing recorded in the transfer to reserve category? Every year there's been an amount of funds transferred to reserves. Why nothing in 2023? As noted in the Port Glasgow Trailer Park 2024 budget, the December 31st, 2024 balance for reserves is projected to be $902,376.48. Replacing the stairs was in the budget for 2022 and 2023. However, in the 2024 budget, the cost of replacing the stairs was removed and pushed to a forecast date of 2026. I have a copy of a letter from Spreat Associates London Limited, an engineering firm, dated April 24th, 2015, and I'd like to share some comments from that engineer. The stairs are in an advanced state of decay and are unsafe to use. The dimensions of the rise and run do not comply with the Ontario Building Code. The wooden handrails and the guardrails are also non-compliant and present safety problems. The ramp roadway is unsafe for use because of its steep grade and should not be used. Both the stairs and the ramp currently have use at your own risk signs posted. If any work was done on the stairs, the cost of the repairs may have been entered or posted under grounds maintenance. Another item of interest at our July 28th, 2023 joint meeting with the West Elgin municipality, which included Richard Latham, Lee Gosnell, Magna Badura, and Michelle Navakis, as well as the Port Glasgow Advisory Committee. After discussing the status of the washroom by the food booth, Ben Howell asked, and I quote from the minutes, if funds are to be able to be moved from the stair budget to the washroom. Magna mentioned the stairs to the beach are a safety factor. If the stairs were such a safety factor, then why hasn't anything been done to replace them? I'm aware that Phil Clubb, our current park supervisor, has replaced some boards on the stairs since his arrival at the park in 2023. Why all this juggling of the budgets, both current and past? The washrooms by the food booth are not accessible, and to be quite honest, the condition of the washrooms are disgusting and an embarrassment to think that the transients who park at the front of the park, as well as those using the pavilion and dance hall, have to use them. There's visible mold, and the material put on the walls is pulling apart. I see on the capital budget, it was budgeted for 2024 at a cost of $350,000. However, the washroom is entered twice in the capital budget. The second entry of $400,000 is forecast for 2029. Unsure why the same washroom is listed in the 2024 capital budget twice. I wonder when was the last time anyone on council actually took a walk around the park to check things out? I've been told that a former mayor would often go to the park and walk through and speak to park residents. He obviously had a thumb on what was his hand on the pulse of what was going on in the park. In closing, the purpose of this presentation was to give you a brief history of the park and to make the public aware that the park takes care of all the expenses and with the municipality paying for nothing. It would be a great loss to the residents of the municipality, both historically and financially, should the municipality sell the park. What's next? Will the municipality be declaring the land they own at the marina surplus? What about the fairgrounds in Rodney? Will it be declared surplus? I believe that the park residents and the residents of the municipality need to have answers to the many questions that are being asked. The council and staff say they're being transparent. Now is the time for each one of you to show that transparency. There are many questions to be asked, but most importantly is when will we, the park residents, be made aware of what will be happening to the park for the 2025 season? I don't look ahead and see the winter as being a fun, relaxing winter, being on eggshells, thinking, do we even have a place to go in the summer? The park was a place for people to gather since 1898. We, along with our families and friends who visit the area, support the local businesses in Rodney, West Lorne, and the surrounding area. I would also like to mention that although we are considered just a trailer park, we are a community within the municipality of West Elgin. We are citizens, not surplus. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that. Any questions from council at this time? Seeing none, I must say the delegations were very informative. And what we will do, we'll ask staff to bring a report back to be brought up in the very near future at one of our meetings, and you'll hear the answers to most of your questions. I can't do no more on that at this time, but we'll ask staff to report back, and that will be done. I thank you very much for attending, and thank you. We'll see you again.
Ask a question.
Go on. Deputy Mayor Tellier wants a question, answer a question.
Through the chair, just wondering if we could look at in the future through council, maybe not this time, a different time, so we could accommodate more people to having like a town hall type when we have some background information, so everyone has it all at the same time. For, as everyone asked today, transparency reasons. So just something to think about in the future if we're open to that or not. Thank you.
Yeah. I can't see why not.
Then we can fit everyone.
Yeah. I feel very uncomfortable seeing everybody just standing there anyway.
Yeah.
We'll try and accommodate you in a better way next time. And we will have a report back. Okay, thank you. Pardon? At this minute, we're going to take a recess. So we restart the meeting and I go to 6, which is adoption of the minutes.
The West Elgin Council hereby adopts the minutes of October 24th, 2024, regular meeting, and November 7th, 2024, special meeting as presented.
A move, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Doherty. All in favour? It's carried. Committee and board minutes.
That West Elgin Council acknowledge receipt of the Beau Horvat Community Center Board minutes of August 21st and September 11th, 2024, and the Recreation Committee minutes of September 18th, 2024, and the Heritage Homes Annual General Meeting minutes October 23rd, 2023, and regular meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2024.
Okay, mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Doherty. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Businesses arising from the minutes. Seeing none. Staff reports. We go to building. Monthly building reports, October 2024. We've all had a chance to individually digest, I expect. So can I have the recommendation for that one, please?
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Corey Pemberton, CBO, regarding Building Department Summary Report for the month of October 2024.
Move, please. Councillor Doherty. Seconded. Councillor Statham. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. So we go to Operations and Community Services. Monthly Operations Report, October 2024. We have a recommendation, please.
That West Elgin Council hereby receives the monthly operations update, October 2024, from Lee Gosnell, Manager of Operations and Community Services, for information purposes.
Mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, secondly. Councillor Doherty. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. 8.3, Clerks, Recreation Coordinator, Clerks Assistant Proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the chair, this report's being brought to council today. A letter was presented at the West Elgin Recreation Committee on October 23rd, which is something that the Recreation Committee has been discussing for quite some time now, about having a dedicated recreation person. The committee is finding that they want to create more recreation programs utilizing our facilities. We just don't have the staff to follow through with the programming. So in the proposal, you'll see the letter attached, all the different duties that would be assigned on the recreation side. In the past, there has been recreation positions within West Elgin, and although this may not be considerable on a full-time basis, we could certainly use this person as a clerk's assistant as well. Duties including just day-to-day clerical, council follow-up when they're not busy with recreation and providing those services. This would also provide some essential backup assistance in the municipal office for answering phone calls, just having somebody there when other people are off. So certainly a job description was created using previous West Elgin job descriptions, but also from neighboring municipalities as well that have similar positions, recreation coordinators, clerk's assistants, such. So just kind of a combination of them. So as you'll see in the report as well, of course, financial implications would have to be included in the budget. You'll see that we in the last organizational or compensation review that we had, there is the admin assistance grid there as well. I also took some comparisons from other municipalities. A deputy clerk position is not really comparable, as this position also has a CAO clerk within that municipality. But there's a recreation coordinator, clerk's assistant. So to give kind of an idea, all those are based off of a 35.5-hour work week, so a full-time position. Certainly, I'm open if council has any questions, concerns. I know Deputy Mayor Tellier is on the Recreation Committee as well, so certainly if you'd like to add anything further to that, be happy to hear from.
Any questions from council? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Through the chair, thank you for that. Yeah, just to echo, we've been looking for a long time. We really want to implement things. Things being basketball, some pickleball, some indoor soccer. Maybe when the humidity issue gets resolved at the arena, we could start doing some lacrosse or some ball hockey or whatever the case may be. I know some older in the teens to early 20 youth in our community go all the way to Bothwell or London. Clark Road in London, they have outdoor ball hockey in the summer, or they do Bothwell in the summer. So it'd be great if we could not have those people travel and stay here. So it'd be just wonderful if we could have someone. We have all these great ideas, but nobody to implement them. We're basically, as they came and told us a few meetings ago in this, I believe in July, that they being the committee really feel that they are just a candidate committee, because that's basically all we can implement with our manpower. So yeah, just would be great if we could advertise for this, see what we come up with, and go from there. And really hearing that people want rec and want it stepped up a bit. So this would be a great step to get towards that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Yes, Councillor Statham.
Thank you very much. Through the chair. When I read through the principal responsibilities of this job description, I saw how lengthy it was and how many different responsibilities in terms of recreation administration. To me, what that says is that there is a huge need to have assistance in the office. So, I, for one, would strongly support this. I think that it's important that we have help when the staff are asking for it.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay. I'd like to put it over to the CAO, and if you'd like to give your opinion on that one, please.
Through the chair, we can certainly start working towards implementing this new position. However, as you know, in July, we completed pay equity review. This job was not part of our pay grid, so we would need to, based on the job description and job position, input that position into our pay grid, our remuneration package, come up with pay grid for the position, and then defer it to budget deliberations.
Anything else from anyone? I can see there's a gap and it needs filling. But when it's done, it has to be done right, so.
Mhm.
I see the options there, but I think everybody knows that there's a need. So would you mind reading the recommendation, please?
Council approve the proposal and job description as presented, and that council directs staff to begin the process for the addition of a recreation coordinator / clerk's assistant to be included in the 2025 budget deliberation.
Okay, mover, please. Councillor Doherty, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Committee and board appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report's also one of mine. This one, of course, with filling the vacancy of Ward 3, we now have to look at all of our committees and boards and decide which ones are going to be filled by which councillor. Now, unfortunately, with Councillor Denning needing to leave tonight, we could certainly defer this to the next council meeting so that we do have everyone present. But certainly, if there's certain ones that members of council here tonight would like to go on, I can make note of that and we can bring it back for the next meeting.
Well, failing that, give it a lot of thought and find out where you're best suited, and then we'll come back again to it. Do we need a mover and seconder for that, or the information?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receives the report from Terry Toshuk, clerk, regarding council committee appointments, and that council defer the decisions to the next regular meeting.
Okay, thank you. Mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconder. Councillor Doherty, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Committee and board reports or updates. We all had a chance to look at those. Arena Board, Recreation Committee, Heritage Homes, Four Counties Transit, Rodney Park. No, that's it. Notice of motion, none received. Council inquiries and announcements. Correspondence. We see there's a whole list, and Embridge Cat, there was a lot of pages. So there's anything arising from those? If not, we'll go to the recommendation.
The West Elgin Council hereby receive and file all correspondence not otherwise dealt with.
Okay, mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Doherty. All in favour? It's carried. Thank you. Items requiring council consideration. 13.1. 2025 Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund, OMPF.
That West Elgin Council hereby acknowledge receipt of the 2025 Ontario Municipal Partnership Fund allocation.
Okay. Can I have a move for that, please? Or does anybody want to speak on it first? No? Deputy Mayor Tellier moved it. I need a seconder. Councillor Statham, seconded. All in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Elgin International Club, extension of liquor licence. I think it's quite straightforward, but if you'll read the recommendation, if any councillor's got anything to say about it.
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council direct staff to write a letter of support for a liquor license extension for the events indicated by the Elgin International Club.
A mover, please. Councillor Doherty, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? It's carried. A request for fee reduction.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll speak to this one. A request was received when an invoice was submitted. From what I understand or what I can see with this, I believe last year, when the invoicing done, best guess is that it was a clerical error. The fees for 2023 were $25 per hour. However, they were only charged $25. But sorry?
27.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, because I don't have record of anything being submitted to council for that request. However, this year, they were charged for $35 per hour at the regular rate for the Scout Hall. So they were quite surprised. Unfortunately, they didn't, my understanding is they didn't submit documentation or get the invoice or sign for the invoice until very close to the event. So the event has already taken place. My understanding is it was last weekend, so.
I actually have heard the number 25. And obviously it was a mistake. Instead of 25 per hour is 20. They thought it was 25 probably per day. And that's where the mistake probably was.
Yes, I don't know for sure. I wasn't involved in that process. That was just kind of how I thought that maybe that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, looking at it, a babysitter certificate course, it's really quite important. And it's something I think we need in this area too. We don't want to ruin things. And if we can help them, I think it might pay us to help them a little bit. We can't give it away, but we can make it reasonable at least. We want something that needs to be kept up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, please, Councillor Statham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the chair. If I did the calculations right, we're at what, $183? I don't think that that's a really significant amount. As long as they're clear for the next time that they run the course what the actual charge was, and then they can budget for it accordingly. So,
Sure.
I think if it was a clerical error or whatever happened, it's not a huge amount. $183 is not going to break the municipality. So I would agree with you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to make a suggestion? So then we'll have the recommendation on that then.
Just to clarify, is council waiving the fees or reducing it to what was charged last year?
Deputy Mayor Tellier.
Through the chair, my understanding was reduce it to what it was last year, because that's what her understanding was. Is that not what you said, Councillor Statham?
I think, and then they can
Yes.
adjust their fees to suit.
And
Advise going forward that we will be charging the regular rate per hour. Okay.
yeah, and it's unfortunate because they can't change it now. The course has already taken place and they've already collected the fees from the participants of the course. So,
Already something.
but yeah,
And Magda, you mentioned it was $27 plus, is that plus tax?
Through the
Yeah.
chair, according to our fees and charges, fee schedule, it was, last year's fees were $27 per hour plus HST. New fees and charges was approved by council back in December of last year and were posted on our website as of January 1st. So the public was aware of new fees and charges schedule as of January 1st. And for this year, they are $35 per hour plus HST.
Okay, everyone with that?
The recommendation is that West Elgin Council hereby receive the request from Jay Doughty regarding Scout Hut rental fee for babysitters course, and that council hereby approve a fee reduction to a total rental fee of $27 plus applicable tax.
Moved. Deputy Mayor Tellier, seconded. Councillor Statham, all in favour? That's carried, thank you. Okay, so we go to 14, which is bylaws, and 14.1, 2024-75, water connections.
The recommendation is that bylaw 2024-75, being a bylaw to impose a water connection charge upon owners of the land who derived or will or may derive a benefit from connecting to the water distribution system waterworks, be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Mover? Councillor Statham, seconded. Councillor Doherty, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. And the next is 14.2, 2024-76, sanitary connections amendment.
The recommendation is that bylaw 2024-76, being a bylaw to amend Schedule B to bylaw 2024-42, sanitary sewer connections, be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Okay, you heard that and read it, so could you have a mover, please? Councillor Statham moves. Deputy Mayor Telly seconds. All in favour? That is carried. With that being said, we're going to move into a closed session.
The recommendation is that the Council of Municipality of West Elgin hereby proceeds into closed session at 5:16 PM to discuss matters pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 239(2)B, personal matters about identifiable individuals, including municipal or local board employees, and Section 239(3)B, an ongoing investigation respecting the municipality, a local board, or a municipally controlled corporation by the Ombudsman appointed under the Ombudsman Act.
Okay, can I have a mover, Deputy Mayor Tellier? Seconded. Councillor Statham? All in favour? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're reporting from closed session at 5:57 PM.
Council received 3 items pursuant to the Municipal Act, Section 239, and provided staff with administrative direction, including the following recommendations. Recommendation 1 is that West Elgin Council hereby appoint Amy Sosa, Malcolm Diltz, and Philip Sousa to the Old Town Hall Committee.
Okay, can I have a mover for that, please? Councillor Doherty, seconder. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried, thank you.
Recommendation 2 is that West Elgin Council hereby appoint Lori Beckett and Karen Booth to the Recreation Committee.
Okay, mover, please. Councillor Statham, seconded. Deputy Mayor Tellier, all in favour? That's carried. We go to 17, confirming bylaw.
That bylaw 2024-77, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular meeting of council held on November 14th, 2024, be read a first, second, third, and final time.
Mover, please. Councillor Doherty. Seconder. Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried, thank you. Which brings us to 18, which is an adjournment.
That the Council of Municipality of West Elgin hereby adjourn at 5:58 PM to meet again at 4:00 PM on Thursday, November 28th, 2024, or at the call of the chair.
Okay, mover, please. Deputy Mayor Tellier. Seconded, Councillor Statham, all in favour? It's carried. Thank you very much.